Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 11th. This week, definitely check out astrojar.com for more awesome readers and astrologers, but let's see what we have going on for you. You start off with the 10 of clubs, so learning, and definitely a good time for you to learn something new. I feel like this came up last week for you. It could also just be you dealing with a lot of people. To me, this can be a card of networking and just dealing with a lot of people, talking to a lot of people, needing to interact with a lot of people, stuff like that. It can also be a card of travel, planning on traveling, or even visiting family and things like that at this time as well. It is considered a very fortunate card and a very lucky card. I love this card. To me, it's like one of the best in the deck, and it's also definitely a card of learning. So, you know, anything that you need to overcome, definitely just learn about it, and you could overcome it very quickly. Next, you have the Queen of Clubs. I feel like this came up for your reading in, I want to say like December, somewhere around there, where I was talking about appearances and how appearances were going to be important for all of us this year. You know, definitely Jupiter and Scorpio. I think something that a lot of people don't think about with Jupiter and Scorpio is it has a lot to do with like seduction, but you know, people only think of that in the terms of love. They don't think about that in the terms of like, you know, getting more people into your business, for example, or you know, other ways that seduction can be used that don't have to do with love, like, you know, changing your resume, for example, as well, so that you can attract more people who want to hire you and stuff like that. So, you know, anything you can do at this time to work on those things would be a good idea. You know, this is a card of charisma as well, so you might be more social at this time, and I do feel like that could help you, you know, get things that you want. To me, as always, queens represent a step before authority, wanting to become some authority. You have two queens, so that, I mean, whenever I see two queens, I mean, to me, that is kind of like my combination of, you know, somebody who needs to kind of do something harder in life, who needs to get some sort of authority position, leadership position, or something like that. Next, you have the Jack of Hearts. Could be love coming in for a lot of you. So if you're single, could definitely be love coming in. This can represent an admirer coming in for you. If you are not in a, or if you are in a relationship, I should say, this can represent a very close friend who helps you out at this time. Mostly just a card of help and assistance. So again, it could represent people who are helping you out at this time in some way. And it could be somebody who has a really good idea as well. So that's interesting. And it can also represent new friends also. New people you meet who support you or who help you out in life in some way. Next, you have the Seven of Hearts. This card can represent feeling a lack of love. Again, if you're single, you could be feeling some sort of lack of love, or you could just be wanting to develop a connection with somebody. This is actually a good card. Even though it can represent those feelings, it can still represent getting some sort of relationship. It can represent very fast relationships as well, like, you know, getting into one that doesn't last very long, but probably is here to teach you something. So that's also something to pay attention to. And again, for those of you who are already coupled, you know, this card is about friends, and you could just be thinking about, again, Taurus is definitely one of the signs. You know, just looking at the chart here, and I've said this before, Taurus is one of the signs that I think has been hit the hardest as far as friends are concerned, you know, going through cycles with friends, problems with friends, drama with friends, whatever, and, you know, this can represent changes in those areas, which is definitely good. And again, with all the stuff in Capricorn, I mean, that is pretty much what you are working on, is changes with friends and, you know, building groups, and also becoming more confident in things. Next, you have the Two of Diamonds, perfect match in business, so matching up with something perfectly that makes you money, basically. Very good card. This card can represent a windfall of cash. It can represent inheritances, insurance payouts, debt payouts, getting money back from people that you loaned it to, you know, anything like that. People always ask me about the lottery with this card. I always say, no, it's not a card of winning the lottery. It's a card of, you know, it's basically a card of getting money that is owed to you from something that you did and you either invested like time or other resources into something, and you could be getting a windfall of cash from that. It can also just represent some other sort of beneficial financial situation. It could be like a partner or something that you are with who is seeing an increase in money, and that could be very beneficial for you as well. Next, you have the Queen of Hearts. Like I said, you becoming an authority. This is a card of birth of something new. You know, again, I think Taurus is in particular is working on, you know, becoming more confident, and also like putting your own ideas out there more, and kind of not allowing other people to, you know, either take your ideas or prevent you from doing the things that you want to do at this time. And again, you have two queens, which represents, like, kind of like I said, that step before authority. And finally, Seven of Spades, internal fears that don't exist, needing to remove those things. So no more fears, definitely, and put yourself out there. I'd say take a risk. You have these, I'm really focused on these 10 of clubs and the Queen of clubs, so I think this week is all about you marketing yourself and how you appear to other people. And, kind of like playing around with that to see what you can get. I mean, that might be your whole Mars retrograde, too. From, the end of June to the end of August, basically, could have to do with appearances, how you appear and how other people see you. So, looks like an interesting week. Thank you for watching, and enjoy your week.